All right, so let's jump right into this breakdown of Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover. Now, this book isn't just about making a budget. It's a full-on attack on what our culture tells us is normal with money. And as Ramsey points out, for most of us, normal is just flat out broke. Ramsey kicks things off with this one question. Does that feel a little too real? You know that feeling of being on a financial hamster wheel? Money comes in and poof, it goes right back out. You're working hard, but you just can't seem to get ahead. That exact feeling, that's the starting line for this whole makeover. And that hamster wheel, that's what Ramsey calls the normal is broke trap. It's this idea that the average financial life that we see all around us, the car payments, the credit cards, it's actually a life of constant stress and zero control. This feeling, and this comes from Ramsey's own story of hitting rock bottom, really is the heart of the trap. It's that overwhelming sense that it doesn't matter how hard you work, you just can't win. It feels like you're basically a slave to your bills. So, how in the world do we get stuck in this trap? Well, Ramsey uses this fantastic metaphor of the frog in boiling water. See, we don't just dive headfirst into a financial disaster. It's slow. We accept a little bit more debt here, a slightly smaller savings contribution there, and bit by bit, the financial water gets hotter and hotter until we're in serious trouble and we never even saw it coming. And this is the real kicker. The thing that keeps us in that pot of hot water isn't some horrible financial disaster. It's the feeling of being just fine. Yeah, a car payment is fine. A credit card balance, it's fine. We settle for this mediocre financial life, and that's what stops us from ever going after real financial health. So let's talk about how this trap is held together. It's basically built on a foundation of myths. These ideas about money that everyone repeats. They sound smart, but they're really designed to keep us borrowing and spending. The biggest myth of them all is that debt is a tool. You hear it everywhere, right? It's what smart, sophisticated people use to get ahead. It's just the way things are done. But Ramsey says we have to stop and ask a simple question. A tool for who? For you or for the bank that's getting rich off your payments? Okay, let's talk about the FICO score. We've been trained to chase this number like it's the ultimate prize. But think about it. What does it actually measure? It looks at how much debt you have, how long you've had it, and if you pay it on time. It has zero to do with your net worth or how much money you have in the bank. Ramsey calls it an I love debt score. And you know what? If you follow this plan, your score will go away, but that's okay. You just use a different process, like manual underwriting, to prove you're a good risk for a mortgage, using your actual income, not your debt history. And here's another one. Leasing a car. It looks so tempting, doesn't it? The monthly payment is lower. It seems so smart. But it's a total illusion. You're just paying for the most expensive part of a car's life, that initial massive drop in value, plus interest. Ramsey doesn't pull any punches. He calls it getting fleeced. Even that 0% interest deal on a new car, it's a trap. Sure, the interest might be zero, but the value of that beautiful new car is literally falling off a cliff. We're talking about a 60% drop in value in just the first 4 years. That's the real cost, and it's massive. It's like taking a $100 bill and just throwing it out the window every single week. So if the normal way is completely wrong, what's the right way? Well, get this. When they surveyed the Forbes 400, the wealthiest people in America, a whopping 75% of them said the #1 way to build wealth is to get out of debt and stay out of debt. They're not playing with the same tools the rest of us are being sold. Okay, so making this change, it requires a huge shift in how you think about everything. A total money makeover isn't just about a to-do list. It starts with a whole new mindset, a new philosophy about winning with money. This right here is the mantra for the entire plan. It means you have to be willing to be a little weird for a while. You have to say no when everyone around you is saying yes to going out, to new cars, to more debt. And why? So that down the road, you can live and give with a level of freedom that almost no one else ever gets to experience. And the kind of energy this takes, Ramsey calls it gazelle intensity. Think about a gazelle sprinting for its life away from a cheetah. It's not casually jogging. It's not getting distracted by other things. It's 100% all-in, sold-out focus. That is the exact level of energy you have to bring to getting out of debt. And this is probably the most crucial point in the whole book. Winning with money is not about being a math whiz. It's 80% behavior. It's about changing your habits. The math part is easy. It's controlling the person you see in the mirror that's the real challenge.
All right, so we've got the mindset down, but what do you actually do? What are the very first concrete steps you can take to start walking toward this financial freedom?
Ramsey lays it all out in what he calls the baby steps. And we're going to focus on just the first two. Baby step 1, you got to get a small buffer between you and Murphy's Law. That means saving $1,000 for a starter emergency fund fast. Then comes baby step 2, and this is where the real work starts. You attack every single one of your debts except for your house with that gazelle intensity. And the weapon you use for this attack is called the Debt Snowball. Now, this is where it feels a little weird. You list out all your debts from the smallest balance to the largest, and you completely ignore the interest rates. You pay the minimum on everything except for that smallest debt. You throw every extra dollar you can find at that little one until it's gone. Then you take the payment you were making on it, plus all the extra money, and you roll it all over onto the next smallest debt. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait a second. Wouldn't it be smarter to pay off the highest interest rate first? I'd save more money. And look, mathematically, you're absolutely right. But as Ramsey says, if we were that good at math, we probably wouldn't be in debt in the first place. Remember, this is a behavior problem. When you knock out that first small debt, you get a quick win. It gives you a shot of hope. You see progress, and that momentum is what keeps you in the fight long enough to win. This quote really gets to the core of it. The whole point of getting rid of debt is to free up your single greatest wealth-building tool you will ever have, your income. When your money isn't just automatically flowing out the door to banks every month, you get to be in control. You get to tell it what to do.
So let's just end with that question. Seriously, take a second and imagine your life with no car payment, no student loans, no credit card bills. What would you actually do with all that extra cash every single month? How would your life change? How would your future change? That's the promise of the Total Money Makeover.